Demonstrating knowledge of instructional leadership. Students who walk into school with any kind of disadvantage have a greater need for excellent or good teaching. Kim Marshall. So for this presentation, we will be looking at the role of the supervisor in the district, curriculum and instruction, technology and teaching, the observation process, professional development, evaluation, revision, and collaboration. So let's begin with the role of the supervisor. As your supervisor, I will be scheduling department meetings, observations, and professional development for you. I will also be able to give the administrators input as to which courses or grades or sections that you will be teaching this year. I will be handling budgeting, which includes the textbook purchases that you need for your class, any classroom supplies that you need. You'll be getting an individual budget for that. Any professional development sessions that need to be outside of the district. Any technology licenses or vendor licenses that you need for any supplemental materials. Testing materials, and for all of those items, I will be able to create purchase orders for you, and then either myself or you will be ordering these items online. I will also be helping you with department goals. We'll collaborate every year to establish a goal for you for that year, and that will be your personal development plan. We will review your SGOs, or student growth objectives. We'll examine standardized test scores. We'll create assessments together, and then we'll also make sure that the curriculum that you're teaching is aligned to the state standards. I will be observing you 6 times this year as a non-tenured teacher. Once you receive tenure, I will only need to observe you 3 times. After each observation, we will schedule a post-observation meeting where I will be able to give you coaching feedback and recommendations. Also, at the end of the year, I will be giving you a summative assessment where you will receive a score for your efforts throughout the year. I'm in charge of data collection, which means I will be evaluating not only your observation score, but also determining what growth is needed in various areas. If we need to write any grants for anything that you might need that are above and beyond our budget, I can help with grant writing and managing that as well. Just want to let you know that I am a good listener. I will help you to meet any deadlines that you need or help with any feedback. I'll help you collaborate with your administrator, and I will be acting in an ethical, honest, and professional manner. So let's begin by talking about curriculum and instruction. We use what's called a connected action roadmap as our template for our curriculum. So you will be working together in a PLC, or professional learning community, with other teachers in your discipline during a particular period of the day. You will be working to design units for your curriculum, and we're going to have you start at the end of the school year and then work backwards from there. So you know where your students need to be when they finish the year, and then knowing that, you can start at the beginning. And then this design also makes objectives, assessments, and necessary modifications easy to identify. So the example of the CAR model, we used to have a regular template, and that included essential questions, standards, formative and summative assessments, interdisciplinary connections. So if you're doing a world language lesson, where does it connect with history, science, or English? And then you would also list the various activities you would be doing during that lesson. Our new CAR model includes pre-assessments that you may have students take to see what their prior knowledge is going into the new unit or lesson. Student learning targets, which are the objectives that are based on the standards, and we'll work together to put those in place and develop those. Any modifications that you may need for students who are ESL learners, special education students, students who have 504s or IEPs, and then you'll be able to look and see how those modifications helped or hindered the learning process. And finally, we will be including a social emotional learning competency within our lesson plan. So let's talk a little bit about technology and teaching. Technology is very important if you're going to be a teacher in the 21st century classroom. Technology is used for everything. With our data recording system, you will learn how to use our specific data recording system so that you can see student test scores and whatnot. Hopefully, you already have a background in Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides, and our learning management system, which is Canvas this year. We will be showing you through various professional developments on how to use Canvas to organize your classes, create assessments. This is where you'll put your lesson plans and other information. And you'll also be using technology for communication. Obviously, you will be using it for email or purchase orders, scheduling, and then also inputting your SGOs, PDPs, feedback for any observations that you received, and then communicating with parents through either your inbox in Canvas or email, as I said before. So T-Eval, this is the system that we use. This is the platform for our observations. And you will be getting a login for T-Eval. This is where you will look at all your observations and be able to comment on them. You'll do a self-assessment at the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, and then we'll look together at your summative assessment to see if there's been growth throughout the year, or maybe you set your bar low for yourself, but you've actually achieved at a higher score. Your professional development plans will be in here, as well as your SGOs. So SGOs are student growth objectives, and these are assessments that you're going to be giving to your students. You're going to create the SGO in September, and then you're going to administer whatever assessment it is that will help you to reach that goal. And you'll go throughout the year. Hopefully, you'll be able to see an increase in student performance, and then those results will be uploaded into the T-Eval system. These scores will be combined with your observation scores to create your end of year summative assessment. So, personal development plan. Your plan will be determined by the goals that you wish to set for yourself this year. Possible goals are if you last year were having trouble with classroom management, you may want to improve on that. So that might be a goal that you want to achieve this year. You may want to learn about a new technology platform or use of technology somewhere in the classroom, and you can work on that. Maybe you're going to be teaching AP this year and you haven't taught it in the past, so you might have to go to a workshop for that. We have diversity training so that every teacher here is able to conduct themselves in a respectful manner and also be aware of the differences within students. It's possible that you need to improve your professional duties or certain techniques that you can work on. And then we do have conferences that you can attend that are specific to the department content. So the observation process, let's go through that. Achieve NJ is a program that allows for districts to decide which evaluation system they want. All of the evaluation systems have been pre-approved by the state, and some districts even write their own. We have decided to use the Kim Marshall system, and that is based on his book, Teacher Supervision and Evaluation. We felt that the Marshall evaluation system was the best fit for our district. The Marshall system has 6 rubric domains that we focus on: planning and preparation, classroom management, monitoring, assessment, and follow-up, delivery of instruction, professional responsibilities, and family and community outreach. So let's look at each of those in detail. Preparation and planning. I will be checking your lesson plans weekly. I would like to be looking at your units and see that your lessons have measurable goals and that you are teaching the subject area. I'll be looking at assessments, making sure that these assessments are engaging and that they match the learning targets that are set for the students, and that student growth is evident within those assessments. And that all of your lessons include differentiated instruction and technology. And when I come in to observe your class, I'm going to be looking at your classroom setup and making sure that it is a good setup for your learners. Classroom management, I'm going to be looking at the routines and the expectations that you have set for your students. I'd like to see your daily objectives on the board. This way, when students come into the classroom, they are aware of what they're going to be doing that day. Make sure that all your rules are clear and that your students are engaged. And also, we want to make sure that our students have that social emotional component in the classroom. We want to make sure that everyone is treated with respect, both students and staff. And we want to make sure that the students feel that this is a safe place for them to come and learn. With your delivery of instruction, we want you to encourage your students to take risks. We want you to set clear objectives. We'd like to see when we come in that you have hooked the students into the lesson and that they are completely engaged. They are into the lesson and understand the importance of the lesson. If you need to, you can make any adjustments necessary on the fly. If you find that a certain technique is not working or there's some more clarification that's needed, then by all means, you may stop instruction and reboot and then try again to introduce the concept if you need it. And that your lessons are scaffolded so that something that the students maybe have learned in the beginning of the year, they refresh and relearn again in the middle of the year, and then at the end of the year, they see where all of those components have come into play. Monitoring, assessments, and follow-up. When you're giving an assignment to students, make sure that you have examples to give them so that they know what to expect. It's a good idea to give them a rubric along with the assignment so that they can check off their requirements as needed. This way, there's no surprises when they get the grade. They'll be able to tell why they got that specific grade because they'll know what they did or didn't do. And make sure that they self-assess once in a while. Have them take a look at what they're doing in the classroom because the onus of the learning is on them. They need to be doing their 50%, and you want to make sure that you're checking in with them to make sure that they're doing that. If any students are struggling for any reason, you want to make sure that you give them the support they need. Stay after school with them to help them out with complex concepts, or maybe give them some websites or YouTube videos that they can watch that will help them out. Maybe recommend they see a member of the National Honor Society who's also taking that course and can get some tutoring. And collaboration. It's great when colleagues work together and you can share information, share resources, um, and things that will make the classes go smoothly in terms of a flow of I've had this teacher 1 year, I've had this teacher another year, but I know what to expect because the teachers work together in cooperation and not competition. Family and community outreach means that you communicate with your parents in a timely manner. You give them clear expectations, that your grades are turned in a timely manner. And if any students are falling behind for any reason, that you pick up that phone and call that parent right away. And then we want to make sure that you are showing respect to the students' cultural and diversity. We have a lot of diverse students, students that come from different backgrounds, socioeconomic statuses, sexual orientation, and the various ages. We want to make sure that we include diversity and respect of um, the differences that are in our classroom. So involve your parents in their child's education. Make sure they know what's going on. Maybe if you have something going on in the classroom that week, you can invite a teacher into your room or I'm sorry, a parent into your room to um, help out with the day's activities. And finally, professional responsibilities. We want to make sure that you maintain a professional outlook the entire time you're here with us all year long. We want to make sure that you're carrying out your duties effectively, that you have good attendance. Obviously, you have sick days and you have personal days. Use them if necessary. Um, we want you to show good leadership skills. If you think that you would like to be on a committee or on a team to contribute to the overall experience of our school and our district, please do. We encourage that, and we're also looking for teachers that are honest, ethical, and forthright. And then we also look at growth. Are you accepting and appreciating our coaching and our recommendations? Are you actively seeking out new methods and resources and ways to improve your instruction or improve your students' scores? And those are the 6 domains that we're going to be looking at. Now, for each domain, we have 4 levels of efficacy. We will rate you as either being highly effective. We may rate you that you need improvement in certain areas or that you're not meeting a certain standard. Then we take all of those scores and add them up together, and that becomes your observation score for that observation. And then we'll take those scores and assign a number to them and average them together throughout the year. Now, Teach NJ is a program that was enacted in 2012 by then Governor Chris Christie, and it's a legislative measure that connects the teacher evaluations and the student growth through test scores to tenure in a school district. So what that means is we will be using your classroom observation scores along with your student growth objectives and the student growth percentiles of the state assessments if you are a teacher in grades 4 through 8, uh, English language arts, or 4th through 7th grade math. We will add that into it as well, and then we will come up with a summative rating or an overall evaluation score for you. Now, should you fall below a 3 for 2 or more years, we may put you on a corrective action plan. And corrective action plans are exactly what they sound like. They are plans to help you correct certain actions that may be impeding your instruction or keeping you at a lower score. So, what we would like to do for you is have you do some peer observations. Take a look at what your colleagues are doing and compare with them what you are doing in the classroom and see what other methods or strategies that you can pick up. We may have you take a professional development class outside of the district that specializes in classroom management or in teaching strategies, something that focuses on the areas in which you are deficient. We'll have meetings with administration and we'll talk over all of these things that you have learned and things that you've come up with on your own. We'll do additional observations just to see the progress and see how things are going. And within those observations, we'll have coaching sessions. It may also be a good idea to keep a journal about what you're seeing in the classroom, focusing on specific students and keeping track of those things to see how you can improve upon those areas. So, all of these actions should help improve your teaching skills, and they're meant to increase your summative evaluation score. So if you're non-tenured, a CAP may be just the thing that you need in order to get tenure. So we talked about professional development. And what makes for a good professional development? Well, we want to make sure that the professional development teaches strategies for learning and instruction, communication skills, how to approach questioning, student engagement techniques. Maybe the professional development shows you the latest technology tools or classroom management action plans. It may show you how to scaffold your instruction throughout the year or assess in ways that you haven't thought about before, as opposed to the standard test. Now, evaluation, revision, and collaboration. What we find is that data is what drives our instruction. So we start by planning out our year using our curriculum and our action roadmap and putting a plan in place for the entire year. We then go to instruction and we teach the students what we need them to learn and assess them. Then we take those assessment scores and use that data to find out if the planning and instruction has in fact worked. If not, then we will go to a professional development to find out any other ways to improve upon planning or instruction or assessment. And then the cycle starts over again. So some of the ways that we get our data are through formative and summative assessments. And formative could just be something that you see in class that's happening during times when students are working in groups or maybe when they're taking tests. We can look at benchmarks, final exams. Sometimes students create portfolios throughout the year, and we can use that as data. For teachers, we use our 15, 20-minute snapshots as data to see how the teaching process is going. We'll look at SGOs, PDPs, state testing for our English language learners and our math learners. Science is also tested. So we look at those state tests when the scores come in, and we look to see what, based on the standards, where we need to change or improve or what we can keep the same. And then there are the national standardized tests, SATs or the ASVAB, and we can get data from that. So in conclusion, your administrative team is always here for you. If you need any help with the use of our technology platforms, protocols, or procedures, do not hesitate to contact your building mentor or your supervisor. And thank you for viewing this presentation. Welcome to the district, and I hope you have a great year.